guys, this is Janet Brown coming at you. I can speak this morning. I promise I can. From the Geek Girls Academy. Today I have CJ with me. I'm very excited about this. So if you've been watching videos up to this point, you've only seen me because I've been doing the shorts. And I talked to CJ this morning and went, you would be the other person that is the, girls part of the Geek Girls Academy. Well, we're both girls, but this is what makes it plural. I'm a writer. I know grammar. So pluralize from geek girl to geek girls. There we go. So there's two of us this time. You'll see both of us off and on, sometimes together, sometimes apart, but we're more fun when we're together. So this is CJ Anaya, and she's amazing. Good morning, CJ.
Good morning. Good morning.
After
So
all
glad to
that.
be here.
Yes, it's a happy thing. So today we're kind of taking a step away from the more you knows that I've been doing because we're going to talk for just a minute about writer community. And we thought this was important for a couple of reasons. One is that it's December, so it's the time when it's all about feel good stuff and being able to take care of each other and support the people that you love. And we, of course, love all of you. So that was part of it. The other part is that we're seeing yet again an author in the community who has melted down. And I'm not going to get into all the details. If you want to go look them up, you can. The poor thing hit NBC, so it's really easy to go look this up. But there was an author who, in order to feel like they were increasing their debut book, they spent some time trashing their people. And unfortunately, this is behavior that crops up every now and again. And sometimes I think that it really paints the author community as being very negative and very competitive, and that we don't like each other, and that if my book is going to succeed, then CJ's book has to fail, and blah, blah, blah. And we wanted to take a minute and tell you that that is not true. So CJ, what is your experience with the author community?
It's always been very positive and uplifting. Something that I always found really wonderful when I jumped in there was how loving and giving authors were, how much they wanted you to succeed. And this mantra of, people are always going to want to read books. And if they've read one wonderful, fun romantic comedy on the beach, they're going to want to read another romantic comedy on the beach. So, these voracious readers, they don't want to just read your book. They want to read other books that are like yours. So what you perceive as competition is not really. It's all of these people trying to be successful and working together to give these readers what they want and what they need, and that sweet, wonderful, delicious escapism. And it really was interesting at first to see genuine happiness for other authors by these authors when anyone succeeded. I was not used to that because in the corporate world, in other, industries, you're fighting. It's a dog eat dog world. You're trying to get ahead, but not so in the indie author community. And even in traditional publishing, I have still seen a lot of support. I see it more in the indie world, and I think that has a lot to do with how competitive it can be in traditional publishing and a lot of the pressure that publishers and agents may put on traditionally published authors because they don't want to lose that contract. It's a very difficult scenario. But even then, those folks are still uplifting and helping and supporting and going to conferences and building a community where if we're lifting one person, we're also lifting another person, and everybody's growing and coming together. So the only reason that this is such a big deal is because it doesn't happen very often. And when it does, it makes headline news, right? And so that's the perception that everybody gets, is that, oh, this book industry is cutthroat. And it can be, but the people don't need to be. The people don't, and most of them aren't. So that's been my experience.
Yeah. Well, and this was something we were talking about, is that this is how CJ and I became besties, and how we started the Geek Girls Academy, and we're co-writing books together now. We worked together for years for another company, and all of that came because of the book industry,
Yeah.
because she and I both knew the same author, and that author says, hey, my friend needs to hire people that know stuff. And so she brought us together, which then led to everything that we did. A lot of the closest relationships I have are all around book writing and the author world and that kind of thing. And like I say, there's conferences, there's groups. You don't have to feel alone in this. Sometimes the actual act of writing is kind of lonely. Because you do it yourself, it's you and the computer having a conversation, unless you're co-writing. And that can be really, really lonely. But the process of becoming an author doesn't have to be. Your tribe is out there. Now, it may take you a little bit to figure out which part of this very, very big author sphere is your exact people, where are the romance lovers, where are the sci-fi nerds, where that kind of thing. But we're all here, and we really and truly do want to get to know you, and we do want to help you. So CJ, where are some places that they could go to meet amazing other authors? What would you advise if someone's out there and they're like, I'm ready, I want to meet my people? Where do they go? How do they do this?
Well, and especially for introverts, online communities are great. If you feel drained in a group setting, then online is going to be your thing. You can find some really fabulous Facebook groups and forums that are even very specific to the genre that you write in. But if you want to find larger groups that are talking about a myriad of things, one group we can always shoot you towards is the 20 books to 50K group. It's a great one. It was started by an author whose goal was to just get 20 books published and he could make 50K a year. And that was the goal. That was his thought process. That's retirement money right there. And then it blew
Wanted
up
to
into something.
retire in Mexico.
Right.
Because he'd figured out the math and gone, if I'm making $50,000 a year, I can retire in luxury in Mexico. He never did that, by the way, guys. Mike Anderle
No.
is a big old liar head in the sweetest possible way. Because he told us all that he was going to retire, and yet he's still out there turning out books. Now he runs his own publishing company, and he does really, really awesome things, and his books are really, really good, by the way. But he did lie on us because he said he was going to do this and retire, and yet there's been no retiring,
No. And I think that
which is
speaks
one of the great parts of
volumes.
writing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have
Yeah.
to retire. You can write from any place that you have a pen and a paper or a computer or internet connection. Is great. Anyway, so yes, 20 books. I agree on Facebook is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's the Superstars community, and a lot of these have conferences. So 20 books to 50K has a conference in Vegas. I think there was one was it Bali in the UK? I can't
yeah,
remember, but I think
they
so.
did Bali, they did the UK, they did Australia.
Yeah.
So they've had conferences in several places, and if you connect to that group, then sometimes they'll also advertise about other conferences that are going on. So that can be just a helpful place to start. Wide for the Wind is like that,
It's a
especially if
good
you're
one.
looking at wanting to take your books wide. They have just amazing information. And like CJ says, there's a lot of very specific groups depending on what you're interested in. So like there's one that is Kickstarter for authors. And it's all people who are doing Kickstarters and who are in that community, and they can help you walk through and say, how would I do a Kickstarter for a book like this? There's one for subscriptions for authors, for people that are interested in Ream or Patreon or Royal Road or any of those things, all of which we will get into more details about either here or
Later.
on our in our courses. But just that idea, if you search for blank for authors, you're probably going to find groups out there, whether they're on Twitter, now X, or they're on Facebook or other places. You're going to find those groups. And then, like CJ says, there are amazing conferences that happen all over the world and all over the US. And you can find them locally. You can expand from there. On our webpage, we are going to have an events page where we'll put up things where we're going to show up. And we would love to see you at any event that we are at. Our very next one is Superstars of Writing in 2024, and that will be in February from the 6th to the 11th in Colorado Springs. We will be there. We will be teaching. We will be having a good time. So if you're coming to Superstars, please come and find us. It would make us very happy. But those conferences are great. You can learn a lot of things. You can meet a lot of people. You may try a conference and say, this one isn't for me. That's okay. Don't give up. Because I've attended, I don't want to count how many conferences in the last 30 years. It's a very, very big number. And I have my favorites, and those are the ones that I've said, these are the ones that are worth it for me financially and everything else to go back to every single year. These other things I'm going to do online. And some of these over here, they just don't match my aesthetic, and they're still great conferences. They're just not for me. So all of that said, CJ, do we have anything else that we want to send them out the door with for this week?
Just that this community is warm and welcoming. And if you're looking for tribe and that community and you're looking for support, you will find it. And you don't have to do it alone. You can find that support and you can learn from others so that you can get to where they are. And then you can start helping others in the process as well. And all of that whole cycle is very rewarding. So look forward to it and seek it out, please. Nobody should be your competition in the sense that you're fighting each other. It should always be an uplifting experience where you are helping each other to succeed. Okay.
And even the competition can be friendly competition, because
Correct.
sometimes doing writing sprints and things like that, where you're trying to, kind of just one up each other a little bit, that kind of competition can be very friendly and very fun. So it's okay to engage in those kinds of things. My one word of warning, teeny tiny one, be wary of groups and stuff where they're going to charge you a bunch to join. There are legitimate ones out there that'll say, yeah, we're charging you $9 a month, $10 a month, because we're also going to provide all of these other things. This is like joining Ally, which is the Alliance of Independent Authors. They charge you per year, but there are benefits that you get. There's guilds and stuff that you can join that have a membership fee. Always look into that before you start paying a lot of money out. You don't need to pay money just to have general community. Most of those Facebook groups are free, but their only requirement is don't be a dick. Just behave yourself. Don't put down others. Don't do self promo, things like that. So I always say start in those groups. And then if you find one that you go, hey, they do charge $25 a year to be part of this guild, but it's really worth it for me, then jump into that. Always be leery of something that's charging you a whole lot of money just for community. Most of the time, if they're charging you money, they should provide something more than just their lovely presents. Their presents may be worth. I personally think that everybody should pay me chocolate and just come and hang out in my presence, and that would be awesome. But barring that, I do not charge you to come and hang out in my presence. You can just find me on YouTube. So, point being, go and enjoy your author community. Come and join our author community. We'd love to see you. We have a group on Facebook where the Writing Gals Academy. It's open to join. We would be happy to have you there. And the author community is here to help you out. In December, we're all about service and taking care of each other and on all these happy things. So that is our happy note for this week. This is a great job. This is the best thing that I've ever done in the world, was becoming an author and meeting new authors, meeting other authors, and it's awesome. Right? Any parting words, parting shots?
No,
Please tell
you
me to shut
covered
up
it.
now.
We
All
got
right.
it.
That note, we will see y'all next week. Bye-bye from the Geek
Bye,
Girls
guys.
Academy.